Congo-Brazzaville. Congo is a country located in the western coast of Central Africa. It is bordered by 5 countries, Gabon to its west, Cameroon to its northwest and the Central African Republic to its northeast, the Democratic Republic of the Congo to the southeast and the Angolan exclave of Cabinda to its south, and the Atlantic Ocean to its southwest. The region was dominated by Bantu-speaking tribes at least 3,000 years ago, who built trade links leading into the Congo River basin. Congo was formerly part of the French colony of Equatorial Africa. The Republic of the Congo was established on 28 November 1958 but gained independence from France in 1960. It was a Marxist-Leninist state from 1969 to 1992, under the name People's Republic of the Congo. The sovereign state has had multi-party elections since 1992, although a democratically elected government was ousted in the 1997 Republic of the Congo Civil War, and President Denis Sassou Nguesso, who first came to power in 1979, has ruled for 35 of the past 40 years. The Republic of the Congo has become the 4th largest oil producer in the Gulf of Guinea, providing the country with a degree of prosperity despite political and economic instability in some areas and unequal distribution of oil revenue nationwide. Congo's economy is heavily dependent on the oil sector, and economic growth has slowed considerably since the post-2015 drop in oil prices. History of Congo. Bantu-speaking peoples who founded tribes during the Bantu expansions largely displaced and absorbed the earliest inhabitants of the region, the Pygmy people, about 1500 BC. The Bakongo, a Bantu ethnic group that also occupied parts of present-day Angola, Gabon, and the Democratic Republic of the Congo, formed the basis for ethnic affinities and rivalries among those countries. Several Bantu kingdoms, notably those of the Congo, the Loango, and the Teke, built trade links leading into the Congo River basin. The Portuguese explorer Diogo Sau reached the mouth of the Congo in 1484. Commercial relationships quickly grew between the inland Bantu kingdoms and European merchants who traded various commodities, manufactured goods, and people captured from the hinterlands. After centuries as a major hub for transatlantic trade, direct European colonization of the Congo River Delta began in the late 19th century, subsequently eroding the power of the Bantu societies in the region. Government in Congo. Congo-Brazzaville has had a multi-party political system since the early 1990s. Although the system is heavily dominated by President Denis Sassou Nguesso, he has lacked serious competition in the presidential elections held under his rule. Sassou Nguesso is backed by his own Congolese Labour Party, French Parti Congolais du Travail, as well as a range of smaller parties. Sassou's regime has been hit by corruption revelations despite attempts to censor them. One French investigation found over 110 bank accounts and dozens of lavish properties in France. Sassou denounced embezzlement investigations as racist and colonial. Denis Christel Sassou Nguesso, son of Denis Sassou Nguesso, has been named in association with the Panama Papers. On 27 March 2015, Sassou Nguesso announced that his government would hold a referendum on changing the country's 2002 constitution to allow him to run for a 3rd consecutive term in office. On 25 October the government held a referendum to allow Sassou Nguesso to run in the next election. The government claimed that the proposal was approved by 92% of voters with 72% of eligible voters participating. The opposition, who boycotted the referendum, said that the government's statistics were false and the vote was a fake one. The election raised questions and was accompanied by civil unrest and police shootings of protesters. At least 18 people were killed by security forces during opposition rallies leading up to the referendum held in October. Geography of Congo. Congo is located in the central western part of sub-Saharan Africa, along the equator, lying between latitudes 4 degrees north and 5 degrees south, and longitudes 11 degrees and 19 degrees east. To the south and east of it is the Democratic Republic of the Congo. It is also bounded by Gabon to the west, Cameroon and the Central African Republic to the north, and Cabinda, Angola, to the southwest. It has a short coast on the Atlantic Ocean. The capital, Brazzaville, is located on the Congo River, in the south of the country, immediately across from Kinshasa, the capital of the Democratic Republic of the Congo. The southwest of the country is a coastal plain for which the primary drainage is the Kolo-Niari River. The interior of the country consists of a central plateau between two basins to the south and north. Forests are under increasing exploitation pressure. Since the country is located on the equator, the climate is consistent year-round, with the average day temperature a humid 24 degrees Celsius (75 degrees Fahrenheit) and nights generally between 16 degrees Celsius (61 degrees Fahrenheit) and 21 degrees Celsius (70 degrees Fahrenheit). The average yearly rainfall ranges from 1,100 mm (43 in the Niari Valley in the south to over 2,000 mm (79 in central parts of the country. The dry season is from June to August, while in the majority of the country the wet season has two rainfall maxima, one in March to May and another in September to November. In 2006–07, researchers from the Wildlife Conservation Society studied gorillas in heavily forested regions centered on the Weso district of the Sangha region. They suggest a population on the order of 125,000 western lowland gorillas, whose isolation from humans has been largely preserved by inhospitable swamps. Economy of Congo, Congo-Brazzaville. The economy is a mixture of village agriculture and handicrafts, an industrial sector based largely on petroleum, support services, and a government characterized by budget problems and overstaffing. Petroleum extraction has supplanted forestry as the mainstay of the economy. In 2008, oil sector accounted for 65% of the GDP, 85% of government revenue, and 92% of exports. The country also has large untapped mineral wealth. In the early 1980s, rapidly rising oil revenues enabled the government to finance large-scale development projects with GDP growth averaging 5% annually, one of the highest rates in Africa. The government has mortgaged a substantial portion of its petroleum earnings, contributing to a shortage of revenues. The 12th of January 1994 devaluation of franc zone currencies by 50% resulted in inflation of 46% in 1994, but inflation has subsided since. Economic reform efforts continued with the support of international organizations, notably the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund. The reform program came to a halt in June 1997 when civil war erupted. When Sassou Nguesso returned to power at the end of the war in October 1997, he publicly expressed interest in moving forward on economic reforms and privatization and in renewing cooperation with international financial institutions. However, economic progress was badly hurt by slumping oil prices and the resumption of armed conflict in December 1998, which worsened the republic's budget deficit. The current administration presides over an uneasy internal peace and faces difficult economic problems of stimulating recovery and reducing poverty, despite record-high oil prices since 2003. Natural gas and diamonds are also recent major Congolese exports, although Congo was excluded from the Kimberley process in 2004 amid allegations that most of its diamond exports were in fact being smuggled out of the neighboring Democratic Republic of the Congo. It was readmitted to the group in 2007. The Republic of the Congo also has large untapped base metal, gold, iron and phosphate deposits. The country is a member of the Organization for the Harmonization of Business Law in Africa (OHADA). The Congolese government signed an agreement in 2009 to lease 200,000 hectares of land to South African farmers to reduce its dependence on imports. The GDP of the Republic of the Congo grew by 6% in 2014 and is expected to have grown by 7.5% in 2015. In 2018, the Republic of the Congo joined the Organization of Petroleum Exporting Countries. Transplantation of Congo. Transport in the Republic of the Congo includes land, air and water transportation. The country's rail system was built by forced laborers during the 1930s and largely remains in operation. There are also over 1,000 kilometers of paved roads and two major international airports, Maya Maya Airport and Point Noire Airport, which have flights to destinations in Europe, Africa, and the Middle East. The country also has a large port on the Atlantic Ocean at Point Noire and others along the Congo River at Brazzaville and Impfondo. Demographics of Congo. The Republic of the Congo's sparse population is concentrated in the southwestern portion of the country, leaving the vast areas of tropical jungle in the north virtually uninhabited. Thus, Congo is one of the most urbanized countries in Africa, with 70% of its total population living in a few urban areas, namely in Brazzaville, Pointe-Noire or one of the small cities or villages lining the 534-kilometer (332 miles) railway which connects the two cities. In rural areas, industrial and commercial activity has declined rapidly in recent years, leaving rural economies dependent on the government for support and subsistence. Ethnically and linguistically, the population of the Republic of the Congo is diverse. Ethnologue recognizes 62 spoken languages in the country, but can be grouped into three categories. The Congo are the largest ethnic group and form roughly half of the population. The most significant subgroups of the Congo are Lari and Brazzaville and Pool regions and Ville around Pointe-Noire and along the Atlantic coast. The second largest group are the Teke, who live to the north of Brazzaville with 17% of the population. Boulangi and Mboshi live in the northwest and in Brazzaville and form 12% of the population. Pygmies make up 2% of Congo's population. Before the 1997 war, about 9,000 Europeans and other non-Africans lived in Congo, most of whom were French. Only a fraction of this number remains. Around 300 American expatriates reside in the Congo. According to CIA World Factbook, the people of the Republic of the Congo are largely a mix of Catholics 33.1%, Awakening Lutherans 22.3% and other Protestants 19.9%. Followers of Islam make up 1.6%, and this is primarily due to an influx of foreign workers into the urban centers. According to a 2011-12 survey, total fertility rate was 5.1 children born per woman, with 4.5 in urban areas and 6.5 in rural areas. Education in Congo. Public expenditure of the GDP was less in 2002-05 than in 1991. Public education is theoretically free and mandatory for under 16-year-olds, but, in practice, expenses exist. Net primary enrollment rate was 44% in 2005, much less than the 79% in 1991. Education between ages 6 and 16 is compulsory. Pupils who complete 6 years of primary school and 7 years of secondary school obtain a baccalaureate. The country has universities. At university, students can obtain a bachelor's degree in 3 years and a master's after 4. Mary Ngwabi University, which offers courses in medicine, law, and other fields, is the country's only public university. Instruction at all levels is in French, and the educational system as a whole models the French system.
Thanks for watching this video. If you like this video, click on like button.
If you want to watch more videos like this, click on the subscription button below. It's free subscription.